Well, I come to you today in a very amazing way, because I get to introduce a person who's not only my friend, not only my partner, but an incredible woman who drives me. An incredible woman who's been my rock. I was on a journey 15 years ago down at Tuskegee University in Alabama, where I ran into Marilyn Mosby. And at that time, I ran dead on to a woman that was beautiful, but had an ambition and a drive as strong as mine. It's incredible when you look at her humble beginnings and the obstacles that she's faced throughout her life to put her in the current position that she's in today. And I've been able to take that ride with her. I've been able to see her jump those hurdles, break down them barriers, and completely break through some of the systemic issues that plague our city in her neighborhood where she's from. So I'm just thankful. I can remember talking to this young lady, and she's telling me that she's part of the longest busing program in the nation. She was bused 2 hours away on a daily basis in elementary school just to get a quality education. She was the only minority in her entire elementary school. When she graduated with honors from high school. She was able to be a leader in her SGA. She was able to go on and get a presidential scholarship to Tuskegee University, and it didn't stop there. At Tuskegee, she went on to be a leader on a bioethics team, a national team. She went on to be the president of a National Honor Society at Tuskegee. It didn't stop there. As a little girl, she always dreamt of being a lawyer. And she fought and fought and fought until she was able to get into a top-tier law school at Boston College Law. And with all that said, there was only one thing that Marilyn Mosby wanted to do, and that was fight for the people. She turned down corporate jobs from all across the country and decided to become a prosecutor, something that she always wanted to do, and something that she did at a very high level. The lady that I'm presenting to you today is, like I said, a wife, a mother, but she's an incredible attorney with amazing amounts of spirit and energy and experience and passion to forever change the city. See, individually, collectively, we can do great things. But when we bring those great things together, we can forever change the city. And we need folks like that who are going to be there for this city, who's going to be there for their community. And I would love to present to you Ms. Marilyn Mosby.
The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred.
Baltimore is a special place. It is not only the home of champions and the birthplace of legends, it is a city of communities. What high school you attended, what neighborhood you grew up in, matters more in Baltimore City than anywhere else in the nation. Communities like Bel Air Edison, Ashburton, Cherry Hill, Canton, Reservoir Hill. We take pride in our neighborhoods, but more importantly, we take pride in our city. I come before you today, exactly 1 year from the primary election, to announce that I am running for state's attorney for Baltimore City. Yeah. But this is about much more than an elected position. This is about our homes and our communities. This is about our children and our loved ones. This is about our families. And at its root, this is about our peace of mind. Yes. My name is Marilyn Mosby, and I am a former prosecutor, a wife, a mother, and a resident of West Baltimore, and I have a story to tell. I learned very early on that the criminal justice system isn't just the police, the judges, and the state's attorneys. It's much more than that. I believe that we are the justice system. We, the members of the community, are the justice system because we are the victims of crimes. We watch the news every evening and are angered and frustrated by what we see. We wonder if our children are safe outside of our homes. We wonder if we're safe inside of our homes. victims of crimes. We are the accused. We are the cops that police our neighborhoods. We are the witnesses. We are the perpetrators. We are the judges. And as community members, we are the jury. I've been in your shoes. I've locked my doors. I've clutched my purse. I've seen my family's blood. The same blood that runs through my veins spilled on my front door. I've prayed for strength, serenity, and forgiveness at my cousin Duran's funeral. I've cursed those that stood idly by while our families suffered. But that bitterness, that sense that nothing will ever change, that we can't progress beyond witness intimidation and the stop snitching mentality, that is no way for any of us to live, to grow, or to prosper.
Yes.
And I have one man's awesome bravery for showing me that. My neighbor, Manny Burrows, saw the whole thing. He saw a young man approach my cousin and pull the trigger, murdering him in broad daylight in cold blood on the front steps of my home. My cousin, a 17-year-old honor student with dreams of attending Morehouse College and becoming an architect, was taken from our family by a coward over a pair of sneakers. When the police launched their investigation, Manny Burrows not only cooperated with the police, he identified the shooter. He agreed to testify in open court so that my family and my community would receive justice. Manny Burrows is the embodiment of the justice system, an individual motivated solely by a moral obligation to choose right and not wrong. What did he have to gain from testifying? Was justice for my family worth jeopardizing his own? If there was a threat of retaliation, would he move from his home, his community, pull his kids from school, or stop tending to his lawn on Sunday afternoons? What Manny Burrows did was make a choice that so many of us have made and will have to make if things don't change in Baltimore City. I thank God for my neighbor's decision to testify. I know it wasn't easy, but the way in which the prosecutors dealt with my family, presented the case, and the speed at which they were able to go from an arrest to a conviction to a lengthy sentencing after a fair trial had to have made it easier for him. The way in which the prosecutor's office handled my cousin's case certainly made it easier for me. From that day forward, I wanted to be a part of the justice system. Like so many victims of crimes, some days I hurt so much I wanted to be the justice system. But what should have broken me brought me to my destiny. It is because of my neighbor's courageousness that I chose my path. It's because of him that as an assistant state's attorney for 6 years in Baltimore City, I worked so hard to convict those who preyed upon the vulnerabilities of women, children, and elders of this city. Every day, I dealt with some of the toughest cases that you could imagine in a city where the distrust of the criminal justice system is the biggest barrier to obtaining those convictions. Throughout my tenure in the state's attorney's office, I had an 80% conviction rate. I take my career and my passion for the pursuit of justice seriously. But my favorite and most important job is that of wife and mother. My little girls are the reason I'm running for state's attorney. This isn't about me, it's bigger than me. This is about protecting the future of our most precious assets,
Yes.
our children. I'm horrified by the crimes that still plague this city. The robberies, the rapes, the burglaries, the murders. This weekend alone, 18 people killed. 8 people killed. 18 shot in 11 separate incidents. I'm horrified, and I'm even more horrified by the violent repeat offenders that keep getting off and are not only re-victimizing and terrorizing our communities, but these same individuals return to our neighborhoods and influence the mindsets of our children. young girls must go missing and their bodies found dead in a river and their families re-victimized because of procedural missteps by the prosecutors? How many one-year-olds must be shot and killed by a gunman released from jail for murder 4 months prior before we come to terms with the problems in this city? The problems run deep. That is unmistakable. However, it is my genuine belief that despite what we all might want to think and what we want to believe, the police officers in our city are doing their jobs. I repeat, the police officers in Baltimore City are doing their jobs, making the arrests of the most violent repeat offenders, and are working towards making their home, our home, safer for everyone. Go anywhere in West Baltimore, you can't help but notice an increased police presence. For the first time in years, police officers are walking through our neighborhoods on foot patrol, engaging and talking and protecting members of the community. The police are doing their jobs and taking the bad guys off the street. And despite what the current state's attorney tells you, the judges are doing their jobs and keeping the bad guys from terrorizing our communities until they're convicted. The only one that's not getting the job done is the state's attorney. The state's attorney is the only one failing to obtain convictions, failing to engage communities, failing to administer justice fairly, failing to break down what has become a culture of distrust in this city. That is why I'm here today, to let you know that we, members of the community, no longer have to be at the mercy of the justice system. We are the justice system. And by no longer tolerating a state's attorney that does not understand the priorities of this city, by no longer tolerating a state's attorney that refuses to put our communities first, refuses to take accountability, refuses to develop relationships with the communities that it serves, we can take a stand against the robbers, the rapists, and murderers that prevent our city from fulfilling its potential. The question is, will you stand with me? My name is Marilyn Mosby, and I'm running for state's attorney for Baltimore City.